I'm Donna Blanchard, and this is your ThinkTech Daily News for Wednesday, June 17th, 2015. Vladimir Putin spent time in Italy last week where he publicly railed against European sanctions against Russia. He only needed one country on his side in the vote to discontinue those sanctions, but he didn't get it. Today, the EU reached a preliminary agreement to extend economic sanctions against Russia until January of 2016. The sanctions were put in place last year after Russia annexed Ukraine and provided support to separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine. The U.S. lobbied strongly against any reduction in the sanctions. The Baltic states wanted to toughen the sanctions, but that didn't happen either. The sanctions include extension of existing restrictions on access to capital by Russian banks and companies, as well as an asset freeze and travel ban on selected individuals and companies. Last week, we reported that Al-Qaeda groups were setting up house in the communities in which they've gained control. They pay wages, repair utility infrastructure, and offer only mild policing and an invitation to their religion. This tactic has been working well for them in these communities where residents are getting accustomed to their presence. ISIS is also utilizing this tactic to some extent. In northern Syria, Islamic State jihadists have fixed power lines, dug sewage systems, and painted sidewalks. In Raqqa, they search markets and slaughterhouses for expired food and sick animals. These communities are also becoming used to the militant rule, despite the fact that ISIS has also imposed taxes on farmers and shopkeepers and fired men for wearing short beards. Last month, they reopened a luxury hotel in the city and offered 3 free nights to newlyweds, including meals, while running regular buses across the border with Iraq to Mosul, where they publicly kill captives and train children for guerrilla warfare. Despite this untrustworthy behavior, many areas of Syria and Iraq suffer shattered ties to national governments, and the jihadists are working to fill that void. Yemeni peace talks in Geneva between President Hadi's government and Houthi rebels supporting past President Saleh are not going well. Reportedly, both sides are spending a lot of time in their hotel rooms. Meanwhile, car bombs hit 3 mosques and the political headquarters of Yemen's dominant Houthi group on Wednesday, killing and wounding around 50 people. Wednesday, that's today. No one has claimed responsibility yet, but the attack was similar to a previous one claimed by ISIS. The militant group has become active in Yemen lately, taking advantage of the civil war. Undocumented workers in the Dominican Republic had until today to register their presence in the country. Hundreds of thousands are facing deportation, 90% of whom are Haitian. The Dominican Republic government says nearly 240,000 migrants have started the registration process, but there are an estimated 524,000 foreign-born migrant workers in the country. Human rights groups hoped the government would delay the registration deadline because of the difficulties so many face in producing documents and satisfying the requirements, but there are no indications that authorities will stall their plan to begin ejecting undocumented workers. The California Labor Commission ruled that Uber drivers should be classified as employees rather than independent contractors. We're talking about the democratized app-run car service called Uber, not Nietzsche's ideal of a perfect driver. This could have major consequences for the organization that positions itself as a logistics company rather than a transportation fleet. Because Uber often provides drivers with perks like phones and deactivates or terminates them if they're inactive for 180 days, California decided that they are an employer. Uber made a statement today that the California Labor Commission's ruling is non-binding and applies to a single driver. So there's hope for those of us who like to use the app because of the fair prices and nice, clean, privately owned cars with friendly neighborhood folk driving them. That was me saying that, by the way, not Uber. A hooey-ho, everyone. Donna Blanchard, ThinkTech Daily News.